He is on thin ice. A new report reveals why Joe Douglas's UDFA success story does not have a guaranteed role for this next regime, and who the New York Jets coaching staff already has lined up to take a spot. And we got to break this all down. So what's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Jets Digest. Before we hop into the video for today, happy 4th of July weekend to all the good people watching this video. Thank you for spending your time here. But only 37.8% of viewers are subscribed. So please, if you are not subscribed, please take a second, hit that subscribe button. Let's hop into the topic for what we got today. Coming from Sports Illustrated, the New York Jets have a new coaching staff, which means many returning players will have different roles. For a few guys, that different role could sadly translate to no role at all. For the New York Jets, one name to watch, according to Empire Sports Media's John Molnar, is 24-year-old wide receiver Xavier Gipson. Gibson is entering his third season out of SF Austin, Stephen F. Austin, and Xavier Gipson faces tough competition at two positions, Molnar wrote. So Xavier Gipson, we love to see what he's doing here. He is versatile, can play a bunch of different roles, but you got to be able to specialize somewhere. You got to be able to find a spot on this roster if he's going to break out. Let's talk about what these two roles actually are. The return game is Gibson's specialty, and the Jets have added some competition for him. Quinnen Williams and rookie Jamal Pritchett could command some as return specialists, which could complicate Gibson's ability to make the final roster. Improving his abilities as a wide receiver will be crucial if he can't secure the job as a starting return specialist. In the past, Gibson has struggled as a wide receiver. Last season, he only had 6 receptions for 39 yards and 1 touchdown. So, of course, Xavier Gipson, very successful story, starting as a undrafted free agent, making the New York Jets roster, having that amazing run back punt for a touchdown against the Buffalo Bills in the game where Aaron Rodgers went down tearing his Achilles, and he's become a bit of a fan favorite, and for good reason. When you see a guy come from nowhere and turn into something for your favorite team, it's always fun. You always want to root for that guy, especially when it's a smaller football player like Xavier Gipson. But the story here, he needs to be able to climb this New York Jets depth chart if he wants a shot at making the team next year. According to ESPN's depth chart for the New York Jets, which is taken from a couple sources, mostly the New York Jets official depth chart on their website. Also, they go and look around at, Jets practices and try to work out the most accurate depth chart possible. But ESPN, their depth chart's usually accurate. They have Xavier Gipson as the wide receiver 7. Behind guys like Malachi Corley, Arian Smith, and Tyler Johnson. These are not guys that you really want to be very far behind, seeing how Malachi Corley is also another cut candidate and didn't do anything as a rookie. Arian Smith, a 4th-round pick, day 3 guy. Tyler Johnson, someone who was signed in free agency to a very small contract. But we have to remember, this regime, they want to bring in their guys, and they want to put their own mark on this New York Jets team. And that starts with pushing their own players up the depth chart. So that gives Arian Smith and Tyler Johnson a significantly better chance to make this roster over a Xavier Gipson when it comes to pure wide receiver. So Arian Smith, he has a specific role, which is the role that Xavier Gipson is going to have to try to take from him. He's going to be running our clear out routes. He's really, really fast. Ran a inside the 4.3s at the NFL Combine. Yes, his drop percentage it's more than troubling. It is, the reddest as a red flag can possibly be when it comes to drop percentage. Very, very bad. But we are hoping Arian Smith, the cornerbacks, will give him credit for being able to catch, and they're going to go run with him and set up more stuff under for Garrett Wilson and Josh Reynolds to run around and make some plays. But Xavier Gipson is going to have to find a way to outplay either Arian Smith or Tyler Johnson. The problem with Tyler Johnson, again, brought in by this new regime, so they want to see their own guys succeed. They want to see their guys be the reason why the New York Jets have turned around. Now, when it comes to kick returner, Quinnen Williams was brought in to do the kickoff returns, not the punt returns, the kickoff returns specifically, because he is a bigger body, and the NFL is changing to this new enhanced kickoff where, everyone knows what it is now. When you're standing still and you're not allowed to move until the receiver touches the football, people are saying it's more like a running play, and you block it like a run play. So it makes more sense to put a running back there instead of what we used to do, which was put a really shifty wide receiver back there. Xavier Gipson, if he's not able to make a role for himself as a specialist return guy, there's only one more way to make the roster, and that would be as a pure special teamer. The problem with that is he's 5'9", 190 pounds, which is not ideal when it comes to being a special teamer like that. When I'm talking about special teamers, I'm talking about gunners on punt returns or guys who just line up on kickoffs and go out and make tackles and make plays on special teams. Now, this is a way for, I don't want to say less talented, but just guys that are buried on the depth chart to make an impact on the game. You got to remember, NFL football games are 3 phases: offense, defense, special teams. People like to forget about special teams or pretend like it's just a kicker, just a punter. I don't know if we realize it, but every single play has 11 players on both sides of the special teams, and those guys got to come from somewhere. That is another opportunity for an unheralded UDFA or 7th round pick to make their mark on any given football team, to impress your coaches by running hard, playing hard, and making big plays. And we've seen in games that it can be a difference maker if you are able to make plays on special teams. Last year, we saw Irvin Charles. He was blocked a punt against the Titans. He has been able to make plays on special teams, and that's going to be Xavier Gibson's #1 contender for a special teams role with this New York Jets new regime. The problem is Irvin Charles is over 6 feet tall. He is over 215 pounds. Irvin Charles is a much bigger guy, and he's still pretty fast. He might not be as fast as Xavier Gipson, but Irvin Charles has a nose for the football when it comes to playing special teams, which is very, very bad news for Xavier Gipson if he is, or not if he is trying to make the New York Jets roster. He's definitely trying to make the New York Jets roster, but he has work to do. He's going to have to figure it out, whether it is still has an opportunity at punt returner. The question is Darren Mougey going to decide that someone who is a pure punt returner, are they going to be able to make big enough of an impact to deserve one of those 53 spots on the roster? 53 spots for a active roster on any given game day may seem like a lot of spots, but if you start counting it out, saying, we want 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, 5 wide receivers, 5 cornerbacks, the numbers add up pretty quickly. And I promise you, it is harder to get, or it's less comfortable to get under that 53-man cap than you would think. A pure punt returner, it's going to be up to Darren Mougey if he wants to go ahead with that for Xavier Gipson, but hopefully Xavier Gipson is able to carve out a role. When it comes to these wide receivers, either Gipson or Malachi Corley are going to get cut. They play very similar roles, which is out of the slot, taking up designed targets and designed touches. One of those guys are going to get cut. Just in this new regime, the best we can say here is let the best man win. And, we're going to see how this works out. But that's what I got for today. So if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and as always, go Jets.